Actually, when you go to sleep and have a dream, that body that moves about in the dream is not this body. You have another body. You experience it. You experience the pain and pleasure of that body. When the dream is going on, this is not a pain and pleasure of this body. It's a pain and pleasure of that body. And when you wake up, you thank God it was a dream. Because this is me. That was not me. It's the same thing here. When you sit inside and look at this universe and this world, it becomes like a play. And you watch it like a play. And you say, thank God it's just a play we set up. How can you be so miserable and suffering if you know that? Not only know that, if you experience that. So the side benefits of meditation are several. This is one of them, that your life changes right here. The second benefit is you get a clarity of vision, which you can never get here. You get a clarity, everything becomes so clear. Thirdly, the doubts disappear because you can see instead of speculating. Fourthly, fear disappears. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nobody can hurt that which is inside you. They can hurt what is outside. They can hurt your body. They can hurt your senses. They can hurt your mind. They can never hurt you. Nobody can hurt you. If you discover yourself, nobody can ever hurt. There'll never be a hurt. Imagine the benefits of this meditation. Even if you don't want to go back home, just want to have a little more time here. Make it worthwhile. Make it better. The meditation is good for that too. By being given a mind to use, we have made that possible. That we have the ability to use courage and use our wisdom, courage and conviction in acceptance and doing things that are right, making the changes that we can see. Therefore, a spiritual life, even one of acceptance, does not mean sitting at home and saying, I'm accepting everything that comes. Acceptance means to accept not only what you cannot change. There's some elements in destiny that you cannot change. You accept them. And then there are opportunities where you can decide, should I do this or not do this? There you act and make the change necessary. Do what is required. So this is the ability that has been given and the equipment given for that. The vehicles given for that are this body, the senses and the mind. There's a Guru, there's a Gurumukh, there's a Manmukh. Guru is a perfect living master. Gurumukh is one who lives in the will of the master, and Manmukh is who lives in the will of his mind. You can divide all people into these categories. So when you have a Gurumukh, he lives in the will of the master. When he speaks with the same will, and some of his conversation is like a master's conversation. So therefore it's better to be with a Gurumukh than with a Manmukh. The Manmukh only talks of what the mental desires and worldly things are. He'll tell you how to succeed in life, how to take worldly things seriously, how to acquire more wealth, how to acquire these things, how to fulfill your desires in this world. He will talk of those things. Therefore, it's better to take that company. When great master was still a disciple of Baba Jamal Singh, his master, he said to Baba Jamal Singh, I am working and I go to my job. I am an engineer, civil engineer. I have to work on the roads. So a lot of my time is taken away by my work. I don't know when I can meditate. So great master got a reply from his master. Baba Jamal Singh said, it is not necessary to give up your work in order to meditate. You should treat your work as if you are doing work for the master. Instead of saying, I am working to get my paycheck, I am working to get my wages, say, I am working for my master, master gives me the wages, I am very happy. Instead of decrying that you don't have time, say all the time, whatever I am doing for master, I always think, master, this is you for whom I am doing. You are meditating all the time, even when you are working. Then he gave a little program for the day. He said, when you get up in the morning, rise early, and if you are still sleepy, take a nice shower, especially cold water shower. It will help you to be more awake. And then sit on meditation. Try to spend as much time as you can, about 3 o'clock to 5:30. Spend that time and then get ready and think of the master, who's just given you experiences in meditation, then go to work and all day think of the Master, how he's doing it, keep on doing your Simran. During work, unless you have to attend to an intellectual thing, then stop the Simran, put your attention on that. When you're not doing that, you're just walking, just working elsewhere, put your mind on Simran again. In the evening, come back. When you come back at 5:30, go home, have an early supper, and then spend some time with friends, like-minded friends and satsangis, if you can find them around, and spend time with them. Then go and again sit at night for half an hour and go to sleep early and rise early. He sent a whole plan for the day, how he should be spending his time. So that's a great program that he drew up for him. I personally think it's a very useful, with some modifications. Of course, later on, we found that there are some people, some disciples of Master, who have night jobs, for example. They can't follow those timings. And they said, no, you can have any other time. Some people could not find 2.5 hours at one go. He said, no, split it up. Go half an hour at a time. Go several times, meditate several times. It's not necessary. Then he emphasized at the end, which I am emphasizing very much now, the quality of meditation is more important than the quantity of meditation. The quality means how intensely, how lovingly, how devotionally you are meditating in front of the Master inside. Makes a big difference. Your whole attention gathers so fast inside at the third eye center if you perform this. Otherwise, what is routine meditation merely as a chore? You close your eyes, you see nothing, it's all dark, you are just frustrated, I've got nothing, the legs begin to pain, you change your position and you turn around and then you get up frustrated. But what kind of meditation is that? There's no joy in that. Now we had some sample meditations, few minutes each in the last 2 days. They were sample meditations for very few minutes. I just started calling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so soon afterwards. I'm sure some of you didn't like it that I called so soon. But the last time we did with love and devotion, you all said you enjoyed it. And meditation should be enjoyable, should be so full of feeling that you get up absolutely rejuvenated. You should not feel tired after meditation. You should feel that you got a new energy, a new strength in you because of the experience you had of being with the Master inside and having this conversation and being able to know he's taking care of us, to be able to remember the great coincidences happening in our life, to remember the miracles that are happening. At that time we can think of all those things. We become strong. We become so alive when we get up from meditation. But if we just do mechanical meditation, it doesn't work. If one does not manifest the radiant form of their Master before that Master permanently leaves his physical plane, is it still possible to manifest the radiant form of that Master? Should that disciple seek for a new Master to be initiated by? A Master manifests in us. That means he is available to us from the day of initiation and never leaves us. A perfectly living Master never leaves us till we have reached our true home. No question. Therefore, it's not a particular time when it manifests or not. There, from point of initiation till the point of complete enlightenment of totality, the perfect living Master is with you. You do not need to change any Master. Therefore, the answer is very simple. If a radiant form has not been manifested in you and the Master dies in physical body, he can still manifest any time later. The experience of many people, of great Master disciples, was some got the radiant form while he was alive, but they still like to look at the physical form. In physical world, they didn't say, oh, we have got you inside now, sorry, we don't need you anymore. Nobody said that, because love is a very powerful thing. Every form is lovable form of a perfect living Master. Those who could not get got accelerated manifestation of radiant form. Because when the master is physically alive, you have a chance to see him physically. When he's not physically alive, the chance to see him only in the radiant internal form. That is why not only in the eagerness to see the radiant form increases, but the actual speed at which you can see also increases after a perfect living master passes away. So that is why there's no problem at all. It can be any time after the perfect living master dies. But supposing you die, the master dies, you also die, and you're reborn as a human being. That's one thing, that if you're initiated by a perfect living master and you haven't completed your debt payment, you can still be reborn as a human being. Master is dead, you are dead in the old body, new body has come, and therefore new master will come, a new physical master will come. The first master was not your last master. The last master is the one after which you never come back into physical body. So one can have a series of masters, but the last master, in which life you never come back again, is the one that's your perfect master. So people can come across perfect living masters, and they may not be the last master. That does not mean a perfect living master is perfect living master for everybody. Some people think perfect living masters come to human being for everybody. He's come for what we call marked souls. A perfect living master carries with him internally a list. These are the souls, because we are spread out in time and space. People lived 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. People will live in the future. It's a human experience that the master comes in a human form in a limited time, just like we are in limited time. So when a master appears, he can appear only at a certain point in space. On the planet, it could be another planet, but on planet Earth, there's such a vast possibility. A human being cannot cover the entire planet. So masters appear at different times and different places on the planet, depending upon who the seekers are on that planet. So when a master comes for the certain seekers on the planet, he knows these are the seekers, these are the souls I have to collect and take back. His work is very well cut out, that which are the souls that I have to go back with me. So what I call them, souls in his list A, they'll go back with him in this lifetime. Then there's a list B, which he will initiate, but he knows that he will not be there when they are taken back by another master in next life. So that list B. So then there are others who are neither list A nor list B, who got a chance to see that master. And when they see a perfect living master in a human form, it's such a big experience, not to their knowledge, that they are bound to be initiated one day, maybe after 5, 6 lifetimes or whenever the time comes, but they become marked for a master in the future. So this is a very powerful thing that happens. We can't see it here, but this whole drama of how souls are marked, how they are picked up, how they are taken back, is a very big show. You can find out the truth at the stage when we discovered the soul. There you find this whole show, how it takes place. So nothing to worry. If you haven't seen the radiant form of the perfect living master who initiates you, you will be able to see even after he passes away. Now, when I said we made a very good arrangement with our super intelligence, the arrangement made was, since the whole experience is projected from within, in the experience, when we are ready to go back home, when we are ready to end this experience, we will generate an experience of another human being like ourselves. And we will pretend he has more awareness than we have. And we will lower our awareness to one reality and make that person have total reality. And this arrangement is made before we left our true home. So what happens? When we come to this physical experience, ready to go back home, that arrangement we made comes into play. We are seeking the truth. We are fed up of the experience. We have had enough of it. If we don't say that, then the arrangement doesn't come into play. Supposing we say, I am having a good time, I love this life, we'll come again and again. But the moment you say, I have had enough, this is not my place, I don't feel I belong here. When those feelings come, I don't belong here, I don't fit in here, and I want to seek the truth. Where am I? Who am I? Where do I belong? When those kind of seekings come in our head, a perfect living master appears in our life. Just appears. Arrangement made by us. But why should he appear outside? Why doesn't he appear inside? Because inside the mind looks and searches for things. Search does not give you something that is beyond the known. Seeking does. See, you seek inside, nothing happens, so something happens outside. There are so many teachers, gurus, religious priests. They are all telling you, come to our outside place, come to church, come to temple, come to mosque, do this, do that. All outside rituals. Perfect living master says, go within your own self. Obviously, how is he concerned? What is his interest in telling us, go within your own self? We say, why should we go within ourselves? You have come in outside, we feel your love for us. We want to spend time with you. We want to spend time with you. There is some pull coming from you, and we know that your love is very pure, it's unconditional, we have seen it. Why are you telling us to go in the opposite direction within our own self? What is his answer? He says, what you are seeing is not me. I am inside you. Go in and see. When we follow that simple tip, we go inside and see, a real master was always inside us, not outside. We did not know how to look inside, and he appeared outside just to tell us how to look inside. When we look inside, what does he say? He says, let's fly more further inside. He doesn't say, let's go outside and find some more. Further inside. When we go further inside to the next plane, he's still there. He says he was always there because we made the arrangement. Then what happens? We fall so much immensely in love with that being, starting from the person outside, now inside. We can't explain that love that we have for that person. And then he says, now you can't do anything, I'll do it. What will you do? He says, I'll pull you with the very love. I'll fly to the true home, and you will have to be tagged on to me just by your love. So with the love, he pulls us through to our true home. That is the secret. When we reach true home, what do we find? He was our own self. Our own self pulled us. But we have no idea of our own self. No idea at all right now. We think the body is ourselves. Maybe some astral form of ourselves. So maybe there's a soul traveling around here or there. None of this is ourself. Ourself is the totality of consciousness. And there we discover that what appeared as a perfect living master in a human form was no other than our own self, discovered at the highest level. It's an amazing experience. Great master told me, it's a good thing if a disciple does enough meditation to bring the radiant form, Nuri Sarup of the master in his meditation before the master physically dies. If that happens, then you will notice that for that person the master will never die. When the master physically dies, you see him more alive than you saw him in his physical body. He is with you, and you rely upon that master who looks more real than what you saw in the physical body. So for you, master has never died. He will travel with you. You drive a car, he'll sit in the seat next to you. Not only you will see him in meditation, you will see him around you all the time. So for you, that master has never died. That is why he said, it's a very good thing for a disciple to do enough meditation before a master passes away physically in his physical body, to manifest him in his radiant form inside. If you cannot do that and the master passes away, then it becomes a little more difficult. And then you have to meditate even more. You have to meditate 3 times more to get the radiant form, but you can still get it. Only you have to do more. What happens that when the master is alive, you have a question, you can go to the master and ask him. When he's already died, who do you go to? He says, again, if you had the radiant form of the master inside, he will give you the answers exactly as he would have when he was alive. So you can get all the answers. If you haven't had that, you're still trying to search for that, and you still have questions to ask, then you can go to any senior satsangi, any senior follower of that master, or if necessary, another master, and ask those questions and get the answers. But your master will be the one who initiated you. One day, after getting satisfaction from a senior, advanced satsangi, who you know, who in master's time was declared to be an advanced satsangi, he can give you the answer and guide you till you get the radiant form of the master inside. Otherwise, you can consult anybody who you think is knowing more than you do, and that helps. Okay? What is the importance we give to the spiritual path? What is our priority in life? When we look at it, very often it's not number one priority. We think our worldly obligations, our obligations to our job, obligations to make a living, obligations to raise our family, obligations to ourselves in terms of our health, in terms of the dress we wear, in terms of the makeup we do, mainly for women I'm talking. This is more important than the spiritual path. Spiritual path can be assigned certain time and a certain priority. And you can say, I didn't get time now, I'll start tomorrow. We procrastinate more on the spiritual path than anything else. Everything else is more important than the spiritual path. How do we expect results if this is the priority we give to something so vital, something so important, that the human life has been created for that purpose? We realize that why are we human beings is we have an opportunity to open the door towards inward journey and find our true home. That's the very purpose of being a human being. And we are spending that life in taking care of things which were merely logistical to maintain the human body, and we think that's more important than the main purpose of being born as a human being. Our priorities are wrong. I've often said our whole life will change if we set our priorities right. Priority number 1 is my spiritual path. All other priorities follow. I cannot ignore that. It comes first. My day starts with that. My day ends with that. I compress everything else in between. Then it makes sense. Then we are making use of our days and nights. Then we are making use of our life that we've got, our human life. Otherwise, with a low priority given and a high priority given to temporary things, and then we don't realize that this body, which we think is ourself, is so temporary, and we are working mostly for this body. We want to maintain the health of this body. What about the health of our soul? What about the health of our mind? What about the health of our sense perceptions beyond the body? We don't care. We're taking care of the body. This should be healthy. Of course, it's good to have a healthy body, to be able to do meditation, to be able to follow the spiritual path. But then this should not be the only priority. We should take care of what's happening inside. This life is short. The life after this is long. The life after that is immortal. It has never been born, never died. Do we care for that? If we are going to go to our true home at any time, that will be a long, long stay forever, eternity. And here we are more concerned with the short period that we have in this body. Therefore, we have to change our priorities. We have to put that priority higher. People say the Egyptians, the pharaohs particularly, recognized that this world, this life is so short, we should rather prepare for the afterlife. They said it's equally important, if not more important, to prepare for afterlife than to be preparing only for this life. So they did a lot of arrangements. They say that they even collected the worldly things around themselves to carry them to an afterlife. Tutankhamun's grave was opened and they found so much valuable stuff there, so much gold there, and so much nice trinkets which he wanted to carry. And we poo-poo that guy. Oh, he didn't know that he'll die, he can't carry those things. Little realizing that he carried all of them away. We don't realize how the build-up of the astral experiences. We haven't done it, we have never gone there. Do we realize that our actions here are building up what we are going to get in the astral plane? Have we realized that the use of free will here is creating an experience for us in the afterlife, in the astral plane? Have you ever checked it out? That there is no free will of this kind available in the astral plane. The free will we use in the physical plane because of ignorance of the future is the one that establishes our life and our experiences in the astral plane. Nobody's checked it out. If you check it out, you'll see the importance of what you do in this life, even for your afterlife. Even for a higher level of consciousness, you're laying the seeds of it here. We don't prepare for that. We just think we have to make plans for our physical body and physical life. And we make plans, little realizing those plans may be no use because the end of this life can come anytime, and we don't know when it will come. We have no certain idea at all. People die in the physical body at all ages. They die of sickness, they die of accidents, they die of heart failures, they die of so many kinds of things. They die of shock. The physical body is fragile. In any case dies, no matter how strong it is. And we make plans. People in my age group, I meet them sometimes, making plans what they'll do in 10 years, 20 years later. They're already in the 80s, half the foot is in their grave. And they're making their plans. I'm trying to build a new building there. I will be using it for the rest of my life. And the rest of the life may be one day, maybe a few minutes. So we are giving so much importance and attention in our priority to something that is so temporary. And then, what happens if we overplan and give it undue priority to this life and don't care at all for what happens after that? Then we regret it. Then we regret when death suddenly overtakes. Oh, I wish I had done that. Oh, I wish I hadn't done this. And all the regrets and guilt and all that suddenly sweeps upon us while we are dying. What kind of preparation is that? If you prepare for life, you should also prepare for death. Prepare for a nice death. I came, I meditated, I found out the secret, what I could find in a human body. I achieved what I had to achieve. I'm happy, I'm going successfully. That should be the kind of death we should have. Not that we are regretting, oh, I made a plan, it didn't work out. Oh, I was attached to that person doesn't go with me. Oh, I built so many properties, I can't live in them, I can't carry them into heaven with me. They are all lying here. It is said that Alexander the Great, a great conqueror, who fought many wars, particularly he raided several temples and places of worship in India. And that's why he's remembered a lot in India as a great conqueror who killed so many people, maimed so many people, made so many women widows, made so many children orphans. He's remembered for that cruelty that he inflicted on people. Why? To gather the gold and the valuables they were stored in those temples. To gather those valuables from this, he bagged them, put them on his horses and camels to take them back to Egypt. On the way, as many of you studying history would know, he died. He could not go back to his own capital. On the way, he found he was sick. His doctors told him, whoever physicians were with him, you have no more time to live. Your end has come. He said, no, I cannot die. A gypsy told me when I was young that I will not die till this earth turns into silver and the sky turns into gold. Unless that happens, I will not die. And that hasn't happened, so I can't die. When he got so sick, they couldn't travel anymore. He had a silver armor. which was laid on the ground for him. And they put it there. And there was a little big golden umbrella made of solid gold. They put that gold on top of him to shield him from the sun. And he saw silver below him and the gold above him. He knew he was going to die. He said, I committed so many crimes. I killed so many people to get this wealth that I'm carrying on my horses and camels, and nothing will now go back with me. Can anybody give me anything? I'll give the whole wealth to anybody who can give me time enough to go back to Alexandria, to my own place, to my capital. And they said, there's no way. Not all the wealth of the world will take you there. And Alexander the Great said, then do one thing. When I die and you bury me, when you put me in the coffin, keep my hand outside. I want to show my empty hand, that even Alexander the Great came empty-handed and left this world empty-handed, could not carry anything. And his wishes were fulfilled when his coffin was made. If you go and study in Egypt, his hand was left outside the coffin to show that he went empty-handed. The point of the story is that we get so attached to things, nothing will go with us. Neither friends, nor family, nor things. And how much we are attached and trying to protect those things here. Where is our priority? They are meant for use while we are in a human body. Nothing goes with anybody. We have seen it. We see other people dying, leaving everything behind. And we think we will not die, we'll carry everything with us. What kind of mistaken notion we live in? With intelligence and everything, we still want to gather more of these things which will never go with us. And we gather so much stuff. When we want to move from one house to another, we find we have bags full of things which we have never even opened. We go and store them in a new place and never even open them. There was a princely Maharaja in India, in Patiala state, and he came to London to buy things, and he bought whole stores and packed them. He died so many years ago, and I remember seeing the boxes are still stored that he bought, never even opened them. What kind of shopping are we interested in? What kind of activities are we indulging in, knowing that this physical body is a very temporary thing? It will not go with us. Shouldn't we spend our time more wisely and allocate a proper time, proper attention to something more vital and more long-lasting, like the spiritual path, for which this body alone is a useful tool? If we become a tree, an insect, a horse, a cat, a dog, we can't do this. If we become an angel, we can't do this. If we become a cloud, we can't do it. The only form in which we can find the way out from here, from this big mess, is the human body, the human form. Why are we not making use of it? It's so important to take advantage of it. Therefore I say, let's check our priorities of life and put them in right order. Let's put the most important need, while we have a physical body, to go within, find the route that have been told to us, and find our true home, find the entire route to our true home while we are still here in the physical body, and die with great contentment and peace that we came and accomplished what we came for. People keep on saying, what is the purpose of life? Isn't it clear that human life is the only gateway to your own self, to your own truth, to your true home, and therefore that would be the purpose? Where's the question about it? Human life, the purpose is to find your true home, because you can't do it in any other form. And that's why I keep on advising myself and advise everybody, straighten out your priorities. It's all right to enjoy this world. You came for that. We didn't come here to this world to face misery. What did we come here for? We came here for adventure. Of course, adventure consists of ups and downs. Adventure likes pairs of opposites to work for us. We came for adventure. We came temporarily, and we wanted to go back home. We got trapped out here. And somebody is telling us now, you can get out of this trap. And the way out is within. The way out from this mess is within yourself. You're carrying that real temple of knowledge, temple of salvation with you. We run to outside temples built by us and totally forget the temple has been built by the Creator and given to us as a human being, as a human body. The true temple where you can find knowledge is always with you. You're carrying it on your head.